You want the weight behind the stick. This is okay. This is the French grip. Really facilitates finger style. But you don't want to play the wrist from here, because you want the weight of your flesh behind the stick. When a baseball player swings at the ball, he's not swinging this way. He wants to swing with his shoulder behind the bat. So, and his foot, pushing out from his foot.
You know
he's
what they call that?
What?
The power L right here.
And also, he's pushing out from the right foot.
Yes. Yep.
He's trying to get as much weight behind the bat as possible. So why do you want to use your wrist this way when all the weight is underneath the stick? I'm not saying it's wrong to play French grip. I'm saying French grip is good for timpani and for finger style. But if you want to play wrist, you want to have the weight behind the wrist. Or you're losing your mass behind the energy. You're not going to get as much energy because you're losing the mass that's behind the stick. So whatever speed you're using is not being maximized because you're not putting your full mass behind.
So not only is the stick an extension of your arm, the arm is the mass to propel the stick.
We use different mixtures of mass. I can use fingers, I can use wrists, I can use arms, I can use combinations of them. So if I want to play lightly, I can just use my fingers. I don't have a lot of mass.
Right.
If I want more power, I got to add my wrist in to get more mass. And if I want to, I can add my arms in to get more power out of that.
But what about one of these?
Only if you want to fly. If you want to go to Capistrano.
What about the helicopter?
Only if you want to go to Vietnam. All right, so what are we talking about? Right, so if this is your position and it's straight and you're suspended, so I don't want to have a lot of flesh on the stick because I don't want to stop the vibrations, right? But I want to keep my fingers on the stick because I don't want to lose control. And so I want to lift it up from my wrist this way. There you go. Now, watch what happens to the wrist now. I want to see a pop in the wrist. Look at my wrist. I'm turning from in here.
Oh, you almost want to see it.
Put your hand. Yeah, put your hand on my wrist.
It pushes your hand up.
Right. I'm coming from here. My motion is back in the wrist. And I'm using the weight of my hand, but I'm not playing from my fingers. I'm not playing from the fulcrum. I'm playing from the wrist motion, from back here. But let it bounce back. That's right. And keep your fingers on the stick. Maintain control. Don't lose control. See, look at my fingers.
All of them on the stick.
All. I can take the pinky off. But I like to keep it in line. And what you want to see is look at the stick. And the down here, I'm getting a little bit of it. You still see it popping? You think I'm using fingers? I'm not. I'm using my wrist.
Right.
Put your hand here, you'll see my wrist is moving. Now, as I come up, I'm using more and more of my wrist. I'm turning my wrist further and further. It gets more pronounced. Sounds better already. You get a different sound? He's got less flesh on the stick, and he's using more of his mass behind the throat. Right? You're getting more weight behind the stick, and you're getting more sound. And you don't want to close your hand up. You want to keep the space in here. And you want to keep the flow right. Beautiful. How's that feel?
It's different. It's different than what I'm used to. But I can see what you're saying about letting the stick A, do the work, and B,
especially
not have.
Especially when you start vamping. That's good. You hear the difference in your sound from between this?
Way more open.
Right.
Now,
more open-handed. That's
feel like as I do it more, I get some more control. But should I
the more
be?
open you are, the faster you can play, the better your sound is.
Should I be focusing at all on the path, because I feel like it's
the path is straight up and down. Unless you're, and the reason you don't want a warp stick, you need to have a straight stick because you're working with the bounce. So you need to know where the stick's going to come, so you learn how to follow it. So I use a warp stick. The example I use is try to play basketball with a football. You try to dribble a football, all right? And now you see the problem with having a pair of sticks that are not straight. It doesn't come back the way you throw it. There's no way of telling where it's going to go. There's no way of controlling that.
Now, I've been watching part of Tommy Igo's video.
Mm-hmm.
He just talks about the stick actually rotating in the hand.
I don't think about it. I might be doing that.
I'm not saying that I think about it, but your example with the warp stick is if it's rotating, you'll like you said, if it's warped, you'll never know where it's going to come back.
That's right.
But if it's straight,
you can rotate it and
it'll come back to the same spot.
That's right. Your stroke looks a lot more relaxed already, doesn't it? You're his teacher, you can tell him. Right. The position's the same in every height. All you're doing is increasing the length of the stroke. That's all the difference is. It's the same technique at every height. Really good on sound. And the other thing is,
timbre of the stick.
they have to be the same.
These are close.
These are a little off. It's like broken pair.
Now, how do you check it? Because what I usually do is I hold one stick and I release my hand.
I tap it in one hand like this. Hear that pitch? This one's a little different. So there's two things you need to know about the wood. There has to be the same pitch, and the higher the pitch, the better the wood.
You know what I've noticed? I'll play with the same pair of sticks for a long period of time on the drum set. The stick that I usually hold in my right hand, the beat of the stick will get flattened more than the other, and it'll change the pitch on the snare drum. The snare drum's in tune, but you'll hear two actually different sounds as you're playing because the.
So here's two different sticks. See, it's easier when you do it on a hard surface, so you can hear.
Yeah.
So what happens when you play a single?
Yeah, it doesn't.
But if the sticks were matched, these are not exactly closer together. You got a better chance of getting an even single that way.